Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In here, I want to tell you about the collapse of Islamic civilization in Andalusia. Courses History of Islamic Civilization. The first, I want to tell you about my identity. My name is Ibrahim Rozak Nurhidayat. I am from class Biology A, and then my supporting lecturer is Dr. Munirul Abidin, MAG. Okay, in here I want to tell you about four chapter. The first chapter is the period of Islamic rule in Andalusia. The second chapter is the factor of the collapse, and the chapter legacy of history, and then the last chapter is iktibar that can be taken from its collapse. The first chapter, the development of Islamic government in Andalusia. The government is present as a driving force for regional management, defense of the territory, and as a marker of the territory. The beginning of Islamic rule in Andalusia began when Tariq bin Ziyad, or warlord, conquered the city of Toledo in 711 AD. Islamic ruled the land of Andalusia for almost 7 centuries. Historians divide the period of government into 6 periods, namely a guarantee period. This period lasts 711 AD to 755 AD. The guardianship period is a period led by a guardian, kind of governor, who is subject to the central government, namely the Umayyad government, which is located in the city of Damascus. The existence of this period of government was present when the central government, namely the Umayyad, exists. Suppose a country, then this period is a governor in a city and the Umayyad as the center. And government characteristic this period is the condition of Islamic is not stable, there is trust and discord everywhere, and then the absence of public figures. Okay, next, B, Emirati period. The Emirate period was a period led by an emir, a kind of governor, but did not obey the central government, which was held by the Abbasid center in the city of Baghdad. This period was started by someone named Abdurrahman ad-Dakhil, who fled to Andalusia from the center of the Umayyad government, which had been conquered by the Abbasids. In period, the government characteristic is starting to grow and advanced and prosperous Islamic civilization. C, the period of the clarification. The period of the clarification, this period lasts 912 AD to 1013 AD. The Caliphate was led by the Caliph, and during this period the Umayyads too emerged. Centered on the city of Andalusia, this government was started by Abdul ar-Rahman III with the title An-Nazir. In this government, Islam in Andalusia reached the peak of its glory. This triumph was marked by the establishment of the University of Cordova and a library by Hakam II. When Hisham, who was 11 years old, was appointed to replace Hakam II, the glory of Islam in Andalusia began to dim. At the time, there was chaos everywhere, so that in 1009 AD, Hisham died. For information, in this period, the seeds of collapse began to appear. B. Al-Muluk at-Tawaif. Al-Muluk at-Tawaif, this period lasts 1013 AD to 1086 AD, when the Caliphate government collapsed and it was abolished by the Council of Ministers that ruled Cordoba. At the time also appeared small kingdom, Al-Muluk at-Taif that ruled. This government is led by small countries as a result of the emergence of disputes and division between Muslims. In this period, the Islamic government began to be chaotic and weak, so that the Christians tried to reconquer Andalusia. During this period, the city of Toledo 1085 village was conquered by Alfonso VI by uniting the kingdom of Castile, Leon, and the kingdoms of Galicia. The fall of the city of Toledo was the beginning of the outbreak of war between Muslims and Christians. Morabitun and Mowahidun dynasty. This period lasts 1086 AD to 1248 AD. Morabit, the first is the Morabitun dynasty. This period lasts 1086 to 1143 AD. The destruction of the Morabitun dynasty was caused by a rebellion led by the Swiss and scholars coming from Africa, helped in defending Andalusia, and then led by a coalition between the military and the ulama. Next, Muwahhidin dynasty. Muwahhidin dynasty. This period lasts from 1144 to 1248 AD. Christians seek conquest of Andalusia. Christians combined the kingdom of Leon, Castile, Navarre, and Aragon for reconquista, repealing the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa in 1212 AD, reconquered Cordoba 1236 AD, Valencia 1238 AD, Murcia 1243 AD, and Sevilla 1248 AD. So with the Muwahhidun dynasty collapse. Replacing the Morabitun dynasty, reconquered the territories of Sevilla and Cordoba 1149 AD, and then dominate the territory of Andalusia 1172 AD. F. The Bani Ahmar dynasty. The Bani Ahmar dynasty, this period lasts from 1248 to 492 AD. The Bani Ahmad dynasty was the last stronghold of Muslims in Granada, one of the cities in Andalusia, because other cities had fallen into the hands of Christians. Abu Abdullah Muhammad was jealous because his father did not give him authority but Muhammad bin Sa'ad. So Abu Abdullah Muhammad asked Ferdinand and Isabella to overthrow the legitimate government, and he succeeded and ascended the throne to replace the previous leader. When he ascended the throne, Granada was always attacked by Christians, and finally Granada fell. For information, Granada fell with the Shonal agreement between the Muslim and the Christian. The agreement includes guaranteeing the safety of Muslims to live in Andalusia and also guaranteeing the safety of those who want to leave Andalusia to other areas, especially in North Africa, but the agreement was never kept by the Christians, and the agreement also became a weapon that stabbed the Muslims so that they were no longer able to live in Andalusia, and some of them returned to Africa. The next chapter is our second chapter, factors of the collapse of Islam in Andalusia. A. Conflict between Islam and Christianity. The Muslim conquest of Andalusia made the Christian sense of brotherhood strong and ambitious to reconquer, and Andalusia fell into the hands of the Christians. B. Conflict between Muslim rulers. Because of the greed of Muslim rulers in their desire to lead a power struggle arose, resulting in division between Muslims. C. The absence of a unifying ideology. Andalusian Islamic society consists of many different ethnic groups. The frequent occurrence of ethnic disputes is also the cause of the collapse of Islamic civilization in Andalusia. At the same time, the absence of a unifying ideology and figure causes division to occur. D. Economic crisis. Economic difficulties occur because the government is too focused on building cities and science to that financial management becomes neglected. The government is also too greedy in wealth so that it ruled by the abundance of its possessions. E. Unreaching of government. This is due to the power struggle among the heirs. The lack of clarity of heirs caused the rule of the Umayyads to collapse and Muluk at-Tawaif emerged. F. Remoteness. Islam in Andalusia is isolated from the rest of the Islamic world. He always fought alone without getting help except from North Africa. This was because the Andalusia region was far from other regions except from North Africa, so that when Islam in Andalusia needed help, it was difficult for them to inform other Islamic regions. Just there was no power alternative that is able to stem the Christian revival in Spain. Next chapter is relics of Islamic history in Andalusia that can still be found today. The first, Alhambra Palace. Alhambra Palace is a relic of the history of the Ahmad dynasty. Alhambra Palace in Arabic, Alhambra, which means red, because this palace the walls are red. The second is Medina Az-Zahra. Medina Az-Zahra, we can see the photo. It was destroyed when the Christians reconquered Andalusia. The next, University of Cordoba. Cordova. University of Cordoba is built by Hakam II. And then last built is Mesquita. Mesquita used to be a church then when Muslims were present in Andalusia. The Mesquita is divided into two. Party for Christian worship and part for Muslim worship. And next is scientific field. In terms of the scientific field, there are several fields that give birth to great scholars. The first, philosophy. The character include Abu Bakar Muhammad bin Asai, Ibn Bajjah, Abu Bakar bin Tufail, Ibn Rushd. And the second, science. In science, astronomy, namely Abbas bin Farnas, Ibrahim bin Yahya al-Naqas, Ibn Safar al-Bitruj. And drugs, in drugs, namely Ahmad bin Iyas from Cordoba, Ibn Juljul, Ibn Hazm, Ibn Abdurrahman bin Suhaib. In medicine, namely Hassan bin Abi Ja'far. In geography, namely Ibn Jubar from Valencia, Ibn Battuta from Tagir. The next, Arabic language and literature. In Arabic, namely Ibn Sayyidi, Muhammad bin Malik, author of Al-Fiyah Arabic Grammar, Ibn Khuruf, Ibn Al-Hajj, Abu Ali al-Ishbili, Abu al-Hasan bin Usfur, and Abu Hayyan al-Garnati. And in Arabic literature is Al-Aqad al-Farid by Ibn Abdul Rabbi al-Zakirafi, Mahasin al-Jazira by Ibn Bassam, the Book of Al-Qalaid by Al-Fat bin Khakan. In music and arts, Al-Hasan bin Naif will receive the title Jaryab. He is also famous as a composer of songs. In interpretation is Abu Abdullah Muhammad bin Ahmad bin Abu Bakar bin Far al-Ansari al-Khazraji al-Andalusi. She died in 1273 AD. His work is Al-Jami'u di Ahkam al-Quran, which is known as Tafsir al-Qurtubi. In fiqh is Ziyad bin Abdul Ar-Rahman, Ibn Yahya, Abu Bakar bin Qutiyah, Munis bin Sa'id al-Bawti, Ibn Rushd, author of the book of Bidayah al-Mujtahid wa Nihaya al-Muqtasid. And As-Sayyidi, author of the book Al-Muwafaqat fi Usul As-Shari'ah, Usul Fiqh, and Ibn Hazm. The last chapter is Lesson learned from the fall of Islam in Andalusia. A. Respect for each other so that there are no disputes and feuds, thus creating a strong sense of unity among the Muslims. B. Balance between development and economy. C. Abstain from the selfish nature of wanting to have something like the power struggle that took place in Andalusia, which led to strife and bloodshed between fellow Muslims. And D. Always unite so as not to be easily thrown by the opponent. A. Avoid a life of extravagance, busy with your own possession without noticing that there are still many poor people who are miserable and need help. The extravagant life is the forerunner of collapse. I cut the words from Ibn Abdurrais al-Azdi. which reads wa innamal mar'u hadisun ba'dah fakun hadisan hasana liman wa'a, which means a person will be the talk of the people after him, so they are good talk for those who hear him. Okay, I think enough this presentation. See you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.